Okay, we got sword. Equip this to impress yourself. The blade of this mass-produced saber has dulled over the years and won't slice or stab anyone. It still commands respect in your hand, however. Holding on to its bake-light hilt fills you with a sense of purpose and a memory of the days. Okay. So if I put this on, what changes? Nothing changes. Nothing changes as bonus from items. So, okay. Alright then. That was a very nice day, I have to say. And it's interesting because we had the contrast with the phone call of the ex-partner. And there's it's almost like a leading path for a future with Lillian. It has to be at least a year between you and your last drink for anything more with Lillian. And I guess the point of that could be, if there is ever a reconciliation with your ex-partner possible, something similar would need to happen. So, in a way, going on the date with Lillian has pushed Harry to improve himself and to make a real change, which is quite nice. And we got Wedgie here. Hello! OMG Rob. Hello, Wedgie. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining the stream. Ooh, let's see this again.
An old door.
Yeah, can't do anything else with it. Yeah, so I think, yes, the last thing we're trying to do is to get the communist group to be organized, so we need to pass some time to nighttime. How have you been? We've been good, thank you, Waji. We've been a little bit busy recently. We actually went on a family holiday in the UK, which was nice. You know, I had a nice time. We did a lot of activities and was very tired. But yeah, it was good. How have you been? Double check the phone.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. There's a bitter, caustic taste on the tip of your tongue as you look at the handset. Life is garbage.
Nope, can't do anything else. How's Pimmsy and the little one? Yeah, they're good, they're good. Pimmsy has actually been enjoying the fact that we had a family holiday recently, and then she's going to be off work for another week because, you know, that's how things have fallen for her. So, yeah, she's good. Little one has been pretty good as well. It's so interesting to see how much he's developed recently. He's getting a lot better with, like, language and putting full sentences together. So it really does impress us every single time. He's like, you know, he wants something specific and he's doing like a, well, 8, 9, 10 word long sentence on saying what it is. You've been great? Nice. Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Alright, is there anything else to do with tramps?
Hello again.
Fell building?
Sure. What's on your mind? But of course. No, what else?
Indeed. And Lillian's here again. Anything else new?
I see you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Still running around. Like some kind of cross-country law official.
I still have a case to solve. I have some loose ends to tie up. This place is kind of growing on me, you know. Yeah, it's kind of growing on me.
Aye. But don't let it grow too much. This is not the place to settle down. Now, what's on your mind, Officer Harry?
I'm looking for someone else.
Who?
I'm looking for a suspect who might have stayed in this neighborhood.
Okay. When did this person stay here?
Very recently, over the past few days. She might have arrived on Friday.
Oh. I've been out on the sea for most of the past week. The weather's been good for fishing, so I usually start at 4 in the morning.
Really?
Yes, that's the optimal time. Got to make the most of the calm. I've been sleeping like a corpse after. The sea really takes its toll. Now I'm just waiting for the wind to settle to get out there again.
I thought you said it was better to fish when it was sunny, when it was warm.
Sorry I couldn't help you out. Maybe I can help you find someone else.
That's it. I'm not looking for anyone else.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
That's it. Be seeing you. Okay, yeah, there's nothing else Lillian can do to help me with that. So we have board games. I really hope I don't need Kim here to interact with you.
In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game, Suzerainty. It's snugly wrapped in a skin of plastic. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grinning laborers loading goods onto a ship, while a richly dressed administrator oversees their work. The exact location and time period are left deliberately vague, but it's clearly meant to represent the economic relationship between the Revacholian suzerainty and its many vassals.
Shake the
The
box.
box has a nice heft to it. You hear the rattle of individual wooden tokens and feel their weight shifting back and forth. What treasures wait in store for you? Even before you open it, you can tell that this will be a meaty game of grand strategy and complex player interactions. The plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bodice in a tawdry historical romance.
Open the box.
There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside, you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components. Savor that new board game smell. A mix of wood, paper, and ink, all wrapped in the sweet must of cardboard.
Read the rulebook.
Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy for the whole family. The rulebook is sumptuously illustrated and thick as a Gradian novel.
Economic strategy, more like rapacious plunder and exploitation. Finally, a proper game to teach children about the importance of trade in the global economy. Finally, a proper game to teach Revacholian children about their glorious history. This history seems problematic, but it is important to teach children basic economic concepts. Keep reading. Seems more like plunder and exploitation.
Colourful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples, and harvesting a strange magenta-leafed plant. Everyone is smiling. You begin to suspect there may be a political agenda to this so-called family game. Only one way to find out.
Keep reading.
The instructions are opaque at first and introduce many concepts you're not familiar with. Fortunately, there are many diagrams and examples throughout. You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator for the suzerain of Revachol. Your objective is to increase the suzerain's wealth and renown by accumulating victory points.
How do you accumulate victory points?
That's where the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations, each one home to an economically important resource. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they've placed workers. They may then rearrange their workers, fulfill contracts for coin and bonuses, or build structures back in Revachol. As you leaf through the pages, your eye catches on a sidebar labeled Advice for Beginners.
Read the advice or ignore it. Just tell me how the winner is determined. Read the advice.
Remember, there are many paths to victory in suzerainty, but successful players will find one strategy and commit to it wholeheartedly. Boring, boring, boring. Tear up this rulebook and commit some old-school atrocities.
How is the winner determined? Isn't there any way to invade or commit atrocities or anything fun like that? How is the winner determined?
The actual scoring system appears infinitely complex, with a series of tables and appendices required to compute each player's final victory point total. You skip that part for now.
Examine the components.
You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards with other cardboard components that will need to be punched out before you can play.
Check out the wooden tokens.
In addition to the worker and building tokens used by each player, there are also several piles of colorful resource tokens, each representing one of the game's 4 principal resources. From the Empire of Safre, orange apricot tokens. From Ilmarat, the ancestral name of Ilmara, grey marble block tokens. From the Semenine Islands, white sacks of sugar tokens. And from Supramuindi and Sarah Maritza, magenta tokens for unprocessed cocaine leaves.
Punch out the cardboard pieces one by one.
Each cardboard token makes a satisfying as you pop it out. Soon, a neat pile of cardboard coins and counters has accumulated before you.
Put the components away.
It's a shame there's no one for you to play with.
Oh, I need Kim.
You hold the open game box before you.
Okay, put it away. So I need Kim around to play. So we need to do this when Kim's back. Okay. Well, at least we punched out all the stuff, so then we'll be able to, you know, get possible to do. And I hope that would be a way to kind of take the edge off as well after the very, very rude things we said. Let's interact with Viral.
Large letters on the front form a title. Wirral. The colourful box is illustrated with bucolic vistas. The cover art also features odd-looking humanoids. Some short, some taller, some with pointy ears, others with ephemeral wings. Text underneath the title in smaller typeface reads, 3rd edition, Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel adds, a sword and sorcery adventure board game with new maps and miniatures.
In the back.
A blurb on the back reads, tired of the tedium and toil of modern life? Escape to Wirral. Leave behind e-solas and nations with their petty squabbles. Discard electricity, magnets, and boring technological widgets. Succumb to a world of high pasternal fantastique. Unleash your imagination and create an adventure of endless possibilities. Discover the terrible secret threatening Wirral. Can your band of adventurers save the world?
Yes, we're ready to take on the challenge. I'm not sure I can handle all this responsibility. Definitely not, it sounds too dangerous. We can take on the challenge.
Exactly. That's the spirit. All you have to do is read an intricate rulebook, study an assortment of maps, unfold the illustrated game board, and start rolling dice. In no time, you could be romping through grasslands with low-level characters, hunted by Iskala riders, or battling unspeakable monsters in endless dungeons fraught with danger and despair, conjuring up forceful magics to aid your quest. Don't forget heated arguments escalate into physical confrontation with your friends. And beer, lots of beer. And most importantly, never forget to rage quit if the dice don't go your way.
Open the box.
You pry open the box. Inside you find a folded up map, a small booklet, a 24-sided die, and a little plastic figurine.
Look at the map.
A reprint of a crude hand-drawn map. The top left corner reads, Lands of Wirral. The map features both small villages and mid-sized towns with odd names, in addition to meadows, forests, hills, lakes and seas, also with odd names. It doesn't seem to correspond with anything you've seen thus far. It's not a very helpful map.
Look at the booklet.
A quick guide to the magical races of Wirral. Create your own hero, choosing from any of these completely unique and fantastical backgrounds. The options are in order of importance. The Welkin, the Tweog, the humans, the fairy folk, and the pygmies.
Read about the Welkin.
The Welkin, tall, lithe, and graceful, with long flowing hair and pointy ears. They're known for being powerful magic users, but can also hold their own in a brawn-driven fight. The Welkin come with a variety of exciting sub-races. High Welkin, Forest Welkin, Lake Welkin, and Snow Welkin. But if you're not feeling experimental, a basic Welkin will always do.
Read about the Dweor.
A grand race of industrious mountain people. They're short, stout, and muscular, and enjoy digging for gold and other precious minerals. They're also well versed in the art of combat, where they prefer to use axes and hammers. The Tweog also come in a few different sub-races. Hill Tweog, Shield Tweog, and Dark Tweog.
Read about the humans.
They're just humans. What else is there to tell? They're average in all stats, and jacks of all trades.
Damn, I must go unfortunately, but I was so glad to see you, and take care, and wishing you and the fam the best. Thank you very much, Waji. You take care as well, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Read about the fairy folk.
A very small race of flying people, known for being mischievous, full of trickery. They often lure people into their magical traps. There are no sub-races for the fairies.
Read about the pygmies.
The least popular of the Wirral races, the pygmies, are short, rotund, and dim-witted. Pygmies live in small villages made of shoddy wooden dwellings. They spend most of their days tilling the earth and smoking their pipes. There are no sub-races for the pygmies.
Look at the die.
It's made from some sort of wood and has been decorated with peculiar plant motifs. You don't know much about dice, but this one looks pretty damn fancy.
Take the die.
You place the die into your pocket. It's always good to have luck on your side.
Item gain, standard Wirral die. The figurine.
You see a man in ragged clothes wearing a lopsided hat and wielding some sort of a firearm. A leftist revolutionary. A communard. He looks lost. A stranger in a strange land. Most likely, he was just stuck in the wrong box on accident.
Take the figurine.
You pick the figurine up by the base to meet your gaze. The little plastic man stares back at you, his face contorted into a disturbing shout. Then you pocket it.
Item gain, figurine set revolutionary. Close the box.
A colourful box with the title Wirral in bold letters. It's a board game.
Again, I assume I would need Kim around to be able to play it, so let's put the box away. And then let's have a look at the figurine. So, oh, we're wearing the same hat. What a nice little figurine, a turn-of-the-century leftist revolutionary in ragged clothes. On his head lies a lopsided hat, seemingly a Ushanka. In his hand he carries a little musket. Okie dokie. And then the last thing to interact with is Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch.
Examine the cover.
The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen. That seems to sum up the premise nicely.
Start reading.
The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Insulindian coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights.
Look, I can't judge. Keep reading. I don't need to read this, I'm already living it. Hey, I can't judge.
2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description. Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
No way Mullen did.
Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana Denerva.
Nice, a dame. Now it's getting interesting. Keep reading. I feel like I've read this before. Close. Nice, a
And
dame.
not just any dame. She's truly one in a million. A knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret.
And who doesn't? Sounds like my kind of woman.
She's any man's kind of woman, according to this book. Are you sure about that? Something about her gives you a bad feeling. What kind of secret is she hiding? You couldn't handle a woman like that. Look at yourself. You couldn't even handle your...
Composure check of godly failed.
Stop. Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Nothing. Forget it. Go back to your story.
Now it's getting interesting.
Denerve reveals that she was Spillane's lover, and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullen begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead.
Tell me about the corrupt police captain.
Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder?
I want to hear about the politician's son.
A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height, and while interrogating him at his home, Mullen did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own.
What was that about an art collector?
Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullen discovers that Torvald was once involved with Diana Deneuve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle?
Okay, let's get on with the story.
One evening, Diana Deneuve comes to Mullen's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms. Yes, comfort and pleasure. The warmth of another human's touch. The burning taste of liquor on her full, sweet lips.
Nice. Get it, Mullen. I'm not sure I'm happy with this, but maybe the story will turn it around. Nah, I get it,
As
Mullen.
the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Diana Deneuve turns to Mullen and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you. The name of the true killer. Always aim for the center of mass." Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly.
Fuck. Can't trust the dame? Shake your head. I don't really like where this is going.
When Mullen comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel bed next to him. To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood.
Double fuck.
Mullen trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before the cops discover Deneuve's body. If they haven't been tipped off already, the heat is on. If Dick Mullen can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life. Can you solve the case before the cops close in?
Wait, I've got some questions first.
What is it, detective?
Why does everyone close to Dick Mullen wind up dead? Why did Dick Mullen become a detective in the first place? Why bother solving crimes when the world is so evil? I don't have any more questions, I've figured it all out. Why did they all end up dead?
It's a dangerous line of work, but somebody has to do it. That's why Dick Mullen never lets anyone get too close. What's the matter? Afraid you've been hacking up your friends' bodies in the night?
Why did he become a detective in the first place?
There was never a time when he wasn't a detective. He was born a detective.
Was I not born to be a detective? But why is he like that? Why is he like
Dick
that?
Mullen was made to crack skulls and solve cases. It's who he is. He could no more stop being a detective than a tiger could cease to be a predator in the night. For a moment, you cease to read the story on the page and see the book for what it is. A collection of brittle, cheaply printed pages held together by glue made from the hooves of horses. From nowhere, you hear the screech of sneakers on a waxed floor, and you feel the burn of rope against your hands. Are these figments of some other life? You won't find the answers you're looking for here, in other words.
Why bother solving crimes when the world is so evil?
Is it really so evil, detective?
Okay, maybe not. There are parts worth saving. Yep, it's pretty fucking evil. Let's be optimistic. There are parts worth saving.
Like what?
Friends and family, the pleasure of contemplating art, the taste of a good cigarette, the smooth taste of some ultra-high proof booze, drugs, you know it's all about the drugs. Friends and family.
Do you even have those?
Ooh, I've got Kim. Not right now, but yeah. I might, I just need to find them. I did, but I lost them. I wonder if the game would say... So if I say I've got Kim, will the game say, so where is he?
Just make sure you don't lose him. You'll not find another like him.
That hits a bit different considering he's not here now.
But then, what does this book know? It's just a poorly made piece of pulp garbage made to be consumed and discarded.
I've figured it all out.
So, who did it, detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve?
Communism killed them. Love did them in. The dirty police captain, the junkie art collector, the politician's twat son, Dick Mullen. You know what? I don't even care. Let's go with love did them in.
What? That doesn't even make sense. There's never a straight answer with you, is there? You just get hooked on random stupid notions and then repeat them every chance you get. Now go on. Find out who really did it.
Finish the book.
You begin furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed. You're turning pages so fast, you don't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued. You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone. Dozens of pages scatter across the ground. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long.
Yeah, the reaction speed check was impossible and we failed it. Which is surprising, because reaction speed is 9. I guess the speed ran out. Stupid old horse glue. Gah, now I'll never know. Stupid old horse glue.
Yes, blame a dead horse for your fat, clumsy fingers.
That's fair.
Don't forget, it could have been the delirium tremens. In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity.
Put the book away.